Good morning, everyone.
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
everyone.
everyone. Good morning, Rosanna, Diana.
Good morning, Party Marty. Good morning, CC.
Good morning, Gina. Good morning,
Good
baby.
morning, CC. CC, you always pull yourself over in the corner. Think you
Huh?
should hide from me? Now I said CC. Sometimes she be in the middle, then she purposely pull herself over in the corner like that. You see?
Uh,
I don't know if it's because of we got the three screens over. There you go. Maybe you can move your chair over a little bit. See that very expensive picture that you bought. But anyway, good morning, podcast land, everybody out there. I'm going to definitely address my uh, yeah, baby. Yeah, you go.
Good.
I'm going to address my situation with this always being hungry when the show starts. But I'm a lot of times I work at night, everybody, so I'm just waking up, putting something in me. I got a little. I do want to talk about a topic real quick for a second, addressing things that may need to be addressed. I was at work yesterday, sick as a dog. I was at home before I left, not feeling well, but I didn't want to call out because it was our anniversary, and want to make good decisions on my marriage. You know, back in the day, I solve everything. I call out. You know what I mean? Back in the day, Gina, I solve everything. Hit you in your mouth. Back in the day, I solve everything. You know what I mean? Dope, coke, and ready. Back in the day, I solve everything. My money funny, give me a package, give me a corner. That's how I solve all my situations and problems. I don't do that anymore. I'm a grown man, I'm a mature individual, and I have an awesome wife that's dependent on me to keep the household in a certain situation. Same way with the podcast. The podcast is dependent on me to be here. But I want to tell you something though. You need to address things no matter how small they are. My stomach has been upset lately. Y'all know I had that bariatric surgery. I contribute everything to that, but you never know. May not be bariatric surgery. My wife just hit me with something. She said, you know, just because you got the shot, it means that you won't get COVID and die, but you can still get COVID like anybody else. You know what I mean? Frank Tate, my great nephew, told me that's one of the problems that people like myself and people get. We think we're bulletproof. You got the shot, now you think you're bulletproof. And I just sitting back and start thinking about myself, how reckless I am having the shot after having the shot. I work in the uh, medical field, Shepherd Pratt, around all these people sneezing and coughing all the time. And I say, because I got the shot, I'm okay. And I didn't really assess it and think about it. We go on our honeymoon next month, and we go to Jamaica. We got married in Jamaica. That's where we go every year, and it is expensive now. You know, they used to have them specials and all of Jamaica. Ain't no specials no more. This year we paid top dollar. We paid top dollar. We stay in a 5-star joint. We like to stay nice, and they wanted money for us, and we paid it. But they said a lot of people, our travel agent came and met with us and told us plain and simple, if you don't fit all the requirements, if you don't pass all the tests, if you don't ring all the bells, if you don't flip all the pages, they deny you. Simple as that. You don't get no money back. You know what I mean?
mm.
You end up with COVID when you get there. Gina, what did she say about coming back home, CC?
You got to test negative in order to come back home.
Well, your dumb ass is in
Wow.
Jamaica. Yeah, man. Get used to this. Yeah, man, because that's where you live now. So what I'm
Damn.
doing, here's my strategy, my wife's strategy she came up with. We're going today to get tested. First of all, I'm going to get tested because I'm coughing. I don't think that nothing's wrong with me, but why not me? As we saying, why shouldn't I get a chance to, you know, if I've been like Gina said, I ain't been over there with my mask all the time, stay over there. I think that you okay. I know I ain't got it, you know what I mean? Cece and I found out that we got people in our family, close people that still ain't got the shot. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning,
Okay, so
Doc.
we got people that's in our family we don't even know. You know what I mean? You don't know who hasn't been vaccinated, y'all. I'm gonna tell you right now, you don't know. You don't know. I ain't just talking about dope fiends and crazy people. I'm talking about regular people, smart people, individuals, your family. So sometimes you never know. So after we finish our podcast today, we're going to where are we going to make our quick appointment, CC?
Patient first.
Patient first. We're gonna go in there and find out because if anything is wrong, we give ourselves ample time to quarantine and everything so that we can go. So The topic I just was talking about, Doc, is stop acting like is always tomorrow. My wife said that everybody that went to sleep today made plans for tomorrow. A Dr. Ted line came out of my wife's mouth. She said everybody that died today made plans for tomorrow. Now, I'm not saying that I'm sick at all, but I ain't even feeling well. But like I say, my bariatric surgery makes me do that sometime. I can't tell about if I'm hungry or not because I have half a stomach. So my body, the doctor's telling me my body and my brain are not hooked together at the same time at this particular time. Because if y'all don't know this, your body tells your brain something, your brain tells, your body tells your eyes something, your eyes tell your brain something, then you do what you got to do about it. But if you ain't paying no attention to neither one of them, first of all, you're a damn fool. Second of all, you've taken the whole computer out of whack. You turn your computer on right now, it can be shiny and your name will light up and all, but if you don't hit Control Alt Delete, it doesn't come on. No matter what, if it says powered up and it's lit up, you still got to hit Control Alt Delete. I don't know why that is on all computers, but Control Alt Delete, that's what fires the computer up. So myself, I'm going down there today just to make sure everything is okay because I haven't been feeling well. So without further ado, y'all, let's get our prayer in so we can get started. Father God, thank you for the wonderful things that's going on in all our lives. Father God, we always make sure we start our prayer off with people that's over there fighting those God-forsaken wars, losing mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers and aunts and uncles, cousins and nephews, losing limbs, losing eyes, losing legs, just losing. Father God, please keep them, their family, and all involved safe. Father God, we always make sure we get our special prayer for those who are still dealing with this God-forsaken pandemic. Please, Father God, make them make good direction. Father God, keep them safe. Keep the family strong. Father God, do what you can to keep as many persons alive from this this heinous disease that's going on. Father God, if you see fit that they're still acting a fool, grab them, roll their sleeve up, hit them with the needle. Father God, I am your servant. You can always call on Party Marty, Maurice Tates, Catherine's bouncer, baby boy. You hold him. I hit him, Doc. I hit him with the needle. Ain't no problem. Father God, we always make sure that we keep our heart where Big Cuz from North Carolina, Helen, put us. All we need today to make it is your grace and mercy. Two things, your grace and mercy. Father God, Gina Lee has told us to always look at life now and look at what's going on in the world and stay prayed up. Stay prayed up. There's tornadoes, floods, famine, disease. Right now, Father God, Gina says that the world's largest wildfire is in the world's coldest region. That sounds like the end of days, God, Father God. And it says the world's largest wildfire is in the coldest region on earth. Those two things don't go together. Moment of silence, please. Amen.
Amen. Good morning, Sugar Mama. Good morning, Carol. How are you, ladies? Thanks for joining us.
Good morning, everybody, y'all that gets out here early and does this thing. I really appreciate, and all the rest of us appreciate everybody chiming in, doing their part.
Sugar Mama talk about she ain't know it was a show today. Girl, you know how we do Monday through Thursday. Just we right here at 11 o'clock.
Sugar Mama, got a treat for y'all too. Nature's Secrets and Gina, what's the name of your paparazzi thing?
Paparazzi.
Tuesday, Gina's Paparazzi is going to have a special edition tomorrow. It's going to be a 1-hour show from 11 to 12, like we come on at 11. They're going to tell you a little more about it towards the end of this show, but we want to thank everybody for the outpouring, for the spending. We want to thank everybody, Pastor Rhonda, Bunny, Thanks for them baskets, Bunny. They a hit. Bunny! Get out there, y'all. Listen to your audience. Bunny! Thanks for them baskets. We're a hit. We got some holiday stuff coming up. Bunny's giving us a lot of great ideas, and we're running with it. Yes. Guess what? Gina Lee, Cece is now venturing on to her facial care. Her facial line is off and running now. So that's why we're out here to show you the new product. And if you don't know, Gina Lee, Gina Lee got 3 or 4 of them that she ran out of. She told Rhonda we don't have that. She told Lisa she only had 1. I said, how you doing, Gina? She said, opening packages. I said, what you mean? She said, I have doubled and tripled my orders. So that they want it, I'm now going to have it. So we're running a special tomorrow from the ladies and stuff, and everything is, drum roll please, everything is 20% off. Tomorrow, the special, which they'll be having a special every month, everything tomorrow is 20% off the top. And here's something else to make you feel good. Everybody that bought them baskets and what have you from Nature's Secret, guess what? Since you missed out on a 20%, we will be refunding you through Cash App your 20% back. Hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up. You know why I thought about that? Because don't they make you sick, Doc, Gina, Cece, when you go in the phone store and they tell you, if you're a new customer, I'm going to give you a phone for free. But I've been with you 10 years, you're going to charge me $130. Y'all ever went to the phone store and they tell you that everything the special is for everybody that's new? How you gonna tell a person that ain't spent no money with you that they're gonna get a discount and save money, and then tell me I'm a loyal customer for 10 years, but you ain't got me? Well, everybody that bought baskets and stuff from us yesterday that we was running around, Pastor, Sugar Mama, Bunny, everybody, you know what I mean? There's no sense in them losing out. So if 20% special is the mom, we give them their 20% back. All right, y'all. Without further ado, let's get into the show. How you look time-wise today, Doc?
I'm good right now, brother. I'm good.
Okay, that's what's up. Gina Lee, we're going to start off our presentation back to the old days with you, our heavy-hitting historian, Gina Lee. This is Simply Us. I'm Party Marty. What you got today? Let's talk.
Well, good morning, podcast land. Good morning, panel. First, let me say, unfortunately, I cannot sell paparazzi under $5. The company won't let me. But what I can do is everybody that buys more than 2 pieces, you'll get a free gift. How about that?
Well, that's a great deal right there. But here, I probably misworded it. You won't be selling it under $5. Simply Us, the podcast, will refund everybody 20%. That has nothing to do with you selling it. You selling it for your exact same price out of Simply Us's pocket. Simply Us meaning me. Simply Us meaning me. I'm giving everybody 20% back. This is what we want to do to get people on. We already have in line 2 guests that's going to be on our show tomorrow. We're having the show because they are ready. We have 2 companies. One of them is going to present hair products, and one of them is going to present something else. And we want the show to get out there. That's what everybody, some people fail to realize. It's great that we're selling stuff and everybody's doing this, but the show is about y'all getting your product out there. So Gina, no. CC, no. I don't want y'all to think that you're losing a nickel out of what you're doing. You're going to sell all your stuff for the same. I'm going to reimburse everybody 20% out of Simply Us's pocket because this is making the show a success. All right, Gina, I apologize. Back to you.
Okay. My first topic is Baltimore is allocating $641 million in funding starting October 1st. The applications need to be in October 1st. Now, this $641 million, Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott announced that the city will begin accepting those applications, like I said, October 1st, and the funds are available to eligible nonprofit entities and include investments in continuing the work to end COVID-19, project aimed at reducing violence, the city's economic recovery efforts, and some focus on women-owned businesses and businesses owned by people of color. There are also initiatives for artists, digital equity, and workforce development within the city. Now, this funding has come from, it's a plan developed by AARP, and it was prioritizing the youth, equitable neighborhood development, building public safety, clean and healthy communities, and responsible stewardship of city resources. So the project, as I said, is aimed at these three basic categories. Uh, they want to stabilize our budget, include lost revenues which resulted from the pandemic, and the city wants to also direct investments in the pandemic response, because a lot of businesses had to close because their patronage, had fallen down so low they couldn't continue their overhead. So, they're looking at, helping with that. And the third is to that they want outside organizations with projects aimed at overall revitalization to partner with the city and businesses and our communities to help build them back up again. So the funds, like I said, it came from a 2021 American Rescue Plan. That's, and I said AARP, it's ARPA, excuse me. And they provided the 641 million to the city. And Mayor Scott says that the city is facing a deep systemic challenge even before the pandemic. So these funds will really, really help to, stimulate especially Black businesses, excuse me. So the funding is a single-time disbursement to help struggling communities recover from economic difficulties. And so they initially signed the bill in July, and the first disbursement will be made in November of this year. So they're committed that all of the funds, they're going to do another disbursement next spring, 2022, and they're committed that all the funds will be dispersed by December 2024. So if you are a Black business, if you are a nonprofit, if you have an idea about how to maybe help with our violence problem, if you have ideas on how to, say, eradicate a problem in your community, trash, rodents, whatever it could be, if it's a plan that is accepted by the board that will review them, you could receive part of this money. So just wanted to put that out there. I know that, we all are doing our part to help build our communities back up, so, with the businesses that we have, maybe it's possible that we could, as individuals, put in applications for some of these funds. So I, just wanted to put that out there to podcast land, that, these funds are available, and, don't sleep on it.
Gina, before you go, that's Doc's field, so I will let him go first, but let me put this in here. CC will tell you, everybody out there in podcast land, as we dub this, my company was in line for a grant, and naturally I figured that we couldn't get it. They're going to process and do this and do that, and CC got on the computer and played around. We got that money, didn't we? See?
Yes, we did.
Let me tell you something. This money is allocated out there to help, and I'm going to tell you the truth. I ain't no problem swallowing my pride. That money helped us. That money helped us because my business, every time I turn around, I don't care how much my business was taken away from our retirement fund. Me, Cece and I had retired. We was traveling to see the world, and we started exhausting our funds, keeping Party Marty's moon bounces afloat. So that's what this money is for. So as Nikki, shout out to Nikki, my great niece, don't be scared. Put your name in that hat. Put it in there. Cece did it. We got it. You know what I mean? This is, and they say it's forgivable, isn't it? See?
Yes.
Some of these loans are forgivable. We've already got the paperwork back to forgive this loan. It got us out there in a good time. This information is being given over there. Y'all, please use it. Please use it. Address this.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm going to go ahead, see.
I just wanted to say something really quickly. I wanted to put up a comment. Sugar Mama Jones wanted to say something to Doc and Party Marty. She said she just wanted to salute you kings for the way you acknowledged your wives on the last show. I have an awesome king also, and I just wanted to say that we women appreciate the appreciation. Off the topic right now, but just wanted to say salute to Black King, Black Queens, and Black Love.
Hey, hands up.
Thank you.
Hey, you ain't off that topic at all. You know what I mean? Doc meant that when he put that out on the floor. When he put that out on the floor, my daughter and I watched that. Cece, didn't we? Becky watched that over the house yesterday. Yeah. And then she told me, rewind it. Turn that back. Rewind that back. She had me rewind Doc's speech. She had me rewind it to watch, to see it again. I mean, the salute your queen is an awesome thing. You know what I mean? I always call my wife my lovely wife. Gina's lovely. All the women in the world are lovely, but that's like a little title that I've given her, so I like saying it because somebody else happened to mention that you always say something nice about your lovely wife. So if I know it's working, that's what I do. Gina, great topic, y'all. I hope that y'all pay attention to this. Now, Doc, let's talk about the fact what this money can help and what it's really targeting for, because this is your field.
Yes, I mean, I'm just glad to hear about it. And, you know, and to be honest with you, I think we need more platforms for people to know what's even available for us, because I find that a lot of times when I'm even working with the community, they really don't know certain resources that might help them with furniture, or that might help them with being able to put milk in the refrigerator, and or might help them, you know, as far as a job and just coming home and looking for a job. And they really need to, you know, those type of programs really need to be put out there more, because it sounds like I can hear about shootings. I can hear about everything under the sun that's negative about Baltimore, but I do not hear the things that are there in position to uplift the people in Baltimore. And see, because it's not just uplifting, we have to get people to a point where they're being empowered, you know. So I ain't just giving you the fish. You are learning how to fish. So when I'm gone, you still a fisherman. And that's really, you know, what it's all about. So if you can get to the real programs that actually know, you know, who are in the streets and who really need that kind of help, you know, I mean, I think that's the kind of information that we need to have really on a mass level. And, you know, because you're right, that's right up my alley. You know what I'm saying? I would love to actually get paid for what I had been doing almost for free, but I didn't see it as free because I saw it as an investment in people. I saw it as an investment to change. And so, like I said the other day, you know, stopping somebody else's son for trying to kill my son, you know, and so I've always seen it as an investment. But to be honest with you, if we had the resources to really help the people, I think on a larger scale, we really could make a dent in what's going on out here.
Yeah, that's so true. And you know, y'all, when we get this knowledge and stuff like that, when Gina presents the knowledge to you, are you going to use it? Dr. Ted is a freedom fighter. You always hear him over there talking about what he's trying to do. And if somebody starts giving us a chance to do something with it, to give us some money that's allocated for us, first thing we do is go to the next thing. You know, go get this money. We learned about this. And once again, y'all, if it sounds like I'm bragging on the show or my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because I am. This information and knowledge comes from the show. Gina did some homework on this. She did some homework on this for y'all to get out there and learn from it. Gina gave me some homework. Gina says she's an independent paparazzi consultant. Now, she don't care about what the price is, but she said because of the format that she has, she doesn't have the ability to raise the price, lower the price, or sideways the price of this product. If you're in business, that's something she just now told me. Guess what I did? I heard it. Doc, I heard it. CC, I heard it. Man, me and CC, I can tell it's cheaper for her, or more for her, or less for her. Gina said, I don't have the authority because I'm a consultant for this place that already has a format. So I just want to let everybody know I'm gonna throw you something extra in there and stuff like that. But I got to make sure to let you know I got to follow policy and procedure, and that's a noble act that you're doing, Party Marty and Simply Us and stuff like that. But I can't say that on the air. I can't do that because it does not allow me to do that, even though it may only be $1 or $2. But still, I'll get. But I don't. Doc is funny. Whenever we meet, Gina's gonna give my wife that, and it's her wedding too. We got an anniversary. She may have 4 or 5 pieces by the time we leave dinner. Because every time Gina comes, she just keep giving her all this stuff, and she just run away. And Cece now is like sneaking in her mind. I'm telling you, she's using Gina too. Because when she come over there, she got a bag. She say, "I'm Gina gonna give me that." Gina do every time she comes somewhere, she give us some stuff. Every time that we meet up to eat or whatever, there she go. Look at it. That's her. That's her gift bag. Yeah, she gives away a lot of stuff, Doc. I don't know how she making any money. I don't know how she making any money because she a gift giver. She do that all the time. But anyhow, Kay Boone, I know you out there. Thank you very much yesterday for meeting my wife.
Good morning, my friend.
Yeah, Bunny, that was awesome. You know what I mean? Cece, comment on that topic, please.
I just wanted to say that that's some really good information for us all to take advantage of, but I want everybody to keep in mind, here they go. They're going to say I'm always the bearer of bad news, but I had sometimes be the bearer of a little bit of reality. She said that it's for nonprofits. And if people have when you approach these organizations and stuff, we have to do it in an organized and educated fashion. You know what I'm saying? You need to have a business plan. You need to have a clear-cut vision of what you're going to do with this money. You can't just run up there and say, hey, I heard it was some free money. Let me get that. You know what I'm saying? So we got to approach these situations to be who we know we are and not who they think we are, so that we can get these funds and do the things that we need to do in our communities. But I think that that's some awesome information that anybody who is in a position to take advantage of it should definitely look into it and take advantage of it, because Baltimore needs it.
Hey, one other thing, just like we were also saying, Michael Singletary, who's at the racetrack, he's the major of the racetrack. He gets kids jobs. He got both our sons a job, and they've been there just as a whim. They've been there about 3-4 years now. I don't know what kind of money they make. I don't get into it. All I know is both of them got an apartment, both of them got a car, both of them they live in our rental property. They pay their bills, and they doing life fine. And guess what? It must have benefits, right? See, because don't nobody call us to use our insurance card no more. So it must have benefits. So, but what I'm saying is, make sure that you follow the guidelines of what's going on. If you go over there to Michael Secretary's job, you know you got dope, coke, and ready in your system, they can't hire you. They can't hire you. You know, see, Gina said, and CC reiterated on it, it's a non-profit thing. Because if not, I try to put us in there, but we ain't non-profit. I'm here to make some money off Party Marty. Ain't non-profit about me.
I don't think it's just limited to non-profits.
Then we gonna fill that out, Gina, as soon as this damn podcast is over.
It said black businesses.
Okay, we're gonna put it in. Matter of fact, Gina, I don't even think that we need an engineer on this episode, baby. So you click off and go off and start putting in for that.
Let me tell you something, Mr. Taskmaster. I have things that I'm going to do today, and you ain't going to add nothing else to the plate. So just move on along.
Before we leave that awesome topic that Gina just now came in, what I do, my part is to quarterback this thing. I quarterback this thing. That's what I do. I'm not the historian like Gina. I'm not current events like CC. I don't have a PhD like Doc, but I got I got a PhD in common sense, and I got a PhD in being the podcast quarterback for Simply Us. So right now, I know when you have a topic before the lead, if we also have Dr. Sutton on our panel, and Gina's brought up a topic that's talking about money allocated for restoration to do good for the city and stuff like that, I would be remiss if I didn't let the last comment come from Doc, because this is his field. This is what he does. What she did was segue into an awesome individual who's in this topic. And before we go, y'all know that Doc is a speaker, a paid speaker. Some of the things that he said, they fly him around the world. Just that came back from Hawaii to talk and stuff like that. Before we go on this topic right here, we're gonna let Doc do a little talking on this awesome topic that Gina brought up. It ain't so much about the money. It's talking about what really revitalization and common sense we need in the city. Gina says there's money out there allocated. Go off and try to get it. CC said make sure you follow the guidelines. But we're gonna let Doc tell you exactly what this money is about. Doc, floor is yours.
Well, one thing I will say first, I just applaud, her for, the diligence and, and to be honest with you, everybody needs, I would say a Gina, everybody, know what I'm saying? Everybody should have one. Everybody should have their personal one if they could, exactly. and I would say because part of our issues is that, the people a lot of times who have the passion to do this type of work, a lot of times they don't have the infrastructure to be able to receive the funds. So you have people who are good grant writers and they stay on this type of stuff, but they don't connect with the people who are on the ground doing the work. And so we have to balance that out where the people who have the passion and do the work and no Pookie and Day Day and no, Lil Black that's coming home, saying along with the people who stay in the computer, who stay with those actual deadlines and those dates that have to be required to get your information in and to, to let you know you need a mission statement, you need a business plan, you need a board. And a lot of times, that is not combined. And so, to get this type of information even helps me. I mean, I'm thinking I'm putting my name in the hat. And with everything that's been happening, I actually was even putting out a plea for more men to join this My Men Against Murder. And it's not just for men, but I think men should spearhead what's happening out here in the streets. And so and after this 7-year-old was shot, after this 12-year-old was shot, after that 14-year-old was shot, it's like, how much are your children worth? For the people who say, I don't have no time, I'm working a job, and then I only got a little bit of time on the weekend, so I want to be able to sit and watch the game and get my drink and kind of have my night on the party on Saturday. It's like, but how much are your children worth? We don't want to let it hit our door before we get into the fight. This is a fight that we all in. And so, so a lot of times, people will want to argue and fight about the exact wrong reasons, for the wrong reasons. You know what I'm saying? And so, for this is not just money. I'm hoping that this will be an opportunity. I'm hoping that this will be an opportunity because too many people take advantage of Baltimore. After the riots, companies came in and started buying up a lot of the abandoned houses and a lot of the houses that were on fire. They come here to take advantage of Baltimore. We need to have people who actually care about Baltimore to bring us together so that we can change some lives, because some of our children are not even having the opportunity to get married, the opportunity to graduate from high school. And we have to change that. So I hope that less people who just hear money want to apply, but they will join with somebody that is really trying to do something and let's try to see how we can help them. So you might know somebody that really does the work in different things. Help them get a grant writer. Help them to get somebody to explain exactly what's going on and what you have to do to get the money. And so that we can partner up like this, we can really make change, because we only can do this together. It's not no one person that can make this whole change all together. It's going to have to be people coming together and partnerships to say my child is worth me missing out on this party this particular time, or my child is worth me actually putting a couple of hours after our work into doing this. We have to be able to say that. So I think that was a dynamic topic, and I appreciate it. And actually, I want to find out more information because I want to play a part in that.
Good. Gina, once again, home run. Once again, Gina, home run. Once again, Gina. For our city, Gina, home run. For everybody involved, home run. Now, I want to do, before we leave this topic, I want to own up to my shortcoming. I want you to know that's what I do. I own up to my shortcoming because I got a bright future. I got a great life, but I have some shortcomings too. I need everybody at this time, if you got a minute, I'm going to give you a second to get your ink pen. Get a pad and a piece of paper because I need your attention for a moment, please. Let me give you a minute in case you got to get up. And while you have that minute, okay, now I want to apologize to Dr. Sutton for not being more vigilant in his Men Against Murder crusade, because I have no excuse. I have no excuse. He's always there for me. He's always supportive. He jumps in the show. Why am I not more active in Men Against Murder? I'm Party Marty. I have some resources. I know the thugs. I'm okay to go out on the corners. I'm West Baltimore Party Marty. He's doing something that's exactly what I do. So instead of always talking about what is it that I need to do, let me start with what I need to do right now. So my wife is sitting there with that ink pen, and I know, Doc, what is it that a person like myself and the people that's listening, because he just said it's not all men. You need people from all facets to do this thing. Doc, what is it that we do to get more involved in your situation and your crusade? What can we do to help? What if it's that everybody doesn't have dollars and cents? What kind of time do we do? Where do we meet at? How does it work? What can I do to help, Doc?
Well, one is that when we're trying to mobilize just support, getting a positive message out there is number one for me. Meaning, like, I understand that everybody doesn't have a schedule where they can be at everything, and that's understandable. But what we can do is have this be on the same page with that message of being positive. And then if we can put together, I would say, an African-American resource guide. And when I say that, meaning that, you know, we know a lot of people, just like you know a lot of people. So as we have somebody that comes home, you might know somebody that may be able to help them with temporary work. You might also have somebody that you know that might can help them with their resume. You might have somebody that can help them, because what we have to do is empower people so that they don't feel like the only people that's going to embrace them is the streets, you know? And that's one key piece. And just like you said, you know, you feel you could have done more. Let me tell you something. When I gave that big event in Park Heights and I asked, man, is it anything you could do? And you was like, you sent over the biggest moon bounce, man, that we could fit in the building. But when I said, you know, but when it was time, man, you donated the time. You said, just pay my guys, and for all of those youth that was in Park Heights, all of those people that came through and that was able to be a part of what you did, man, I greatly, and I will never forget, you know, what you did, because I wasn't expecting, I normally don't expect anything for free, you know what I'm saying? And so to me, but that showed me that what kind of heart you have. And so, you know, I may have to have somebody talk to you about, you know, when I'm talking to my guys, and you tell them how you really started your Moon Bounce company. When you told me about going and pulling something out of a dumpster, man, to me, I think that some of our youth and some of the guys that I talk to need to hear that, because that's the type of stuff that motivates them to see that, you know what, I can make something out of nothing. You know what I'm saying? I can do more, you know what I'm saying, than what you know, we did, because you know, it's really just something. So if we could do that, you know, I really think that would be a big thing, you know, helping with just like what, just to me, just like my sister Gina right here. She, as far as I'm concerned, she's a part of Men Against Murder. She's a part of People Can Change, because you just gave me some information, you know, saying that I don't have. You know, I had a young lady that was helping me out with sending emails and finding grants and stuff, and then she had a stroke, and she had to move back with her family, you know, out of town. And you know, and so really, you know, and that's not my thing. I just love to do the work. I love to be on the ground, you know what I'm saying? See, it's, you know, I love that, you know, and I mean, so when you got those people who ain't just focusing on trying to be in front of the limelight, but they can actually do what the real work is, the groundwork. Because to me, if you don't have no finances, you can't really do too much of anything. You can have all the passion and all the heart in the world, and somebody saying, can you feed me a sandwich? And if you can't give them that sandwich, you know what I'm saying, you know, that's a problem. So if people can help like in that way, to me, that's really, you know, the help. I would tell people. And so even for people that's out there, even if you don't get involved in my organization, you should be connected with some type of organization. I want my children, I got my son in the chess club. I got him in the archery club. You know what I'm saying? My son that's the chef, he's even in something called the Kindness Club. I ain't never even heard of that, but you know what? But if you not say, yeah, you know, and look, and my baby boy like they used to mess with him, be like, he's in the Kindness Club. He's in the kindness. I'm like, you stop messing with him because we need more kindness out here.
That's right.
Know?
That's right.
So I say that to say, you know, to get involved and connected, you know, with something, so that you can always have a group, that you can have a platform to be able to share information with, you know what I'm saying, and not just focus on what CNN is telling you, or Fox News is telling you, or Channel 11, 13, 22, you know what I'm saying. We have to have our own community that are connected, and that's how we get connected, is with different organizations and different groups, you know, because it used to be the church, you know what I'm saying, and then that started to really fall off, you know, as far as just churches. So now we have to have even little micro mini groups that come together so that we can try to save our children.
Right. CC? Pastor Rhonda said before retiring, I sat on the interview panels for new hires for the NBA. I now aid others in resume writing, and I'm offering my assistance.
Thank you.
Hands up.
Thank you.
Hands up. Hands up.
That's an important piece. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people, just like you were saying, Doc, you know, people that's coming home trying to transition back into life, you know, that's where you start making the transition, to put together that resume, you know, to go on a job interview prepared, you know, just like I said on the previous show, to have these good, strong men like Doc and my husband to, you know, give somebody a suit, a pair of shoes, you know, Pastor Ron, to help you write your resume, put them in a position to win. You know, we can't keep calling people, we can't keep saying these people are losers if we don't put them in a position to win. You know what I'm saying? We have to do our part to help them, to help themselves. You know, sometimes they really just don't know. They don't know what to ask for. They don't know what to do. So it's up to those of us who have the resources and the talents and the time to put it out there and say, what can I do? You know, so I think that's awesome. Thank you, Pastor Rhonda.
Yeah, I think that something that we learned from, shout out, good morning to my big cuz, Helen, you know, that teaches us the phrase that we use in our prayer every day. And when we end, grace and mercy. You know, God's giving you grace and mercy. You got to do something. You ever hear people say, you know what I mean, I want to get a job. I pray for a job, you know what I mean? But get the Sunday Sun classified ad. Give God a hand. You know what I mean? You can pray God to give you a job, but get the Sunday Sun classified ad. Read up on something. And what I did is, like I said, I own up to my shortcomings. I don't wear tough, but I don't wear chump. Now here's something for you know, I mean, Doc was the king of the one-liners. Here goes something from Party Marty. You know what I mean? I don't wear tough, guy, but God knows I don't wear chump.
I know that's
right. Out of West Baltimore says this all the time. He said, you know, my story is real simple. I'm West Baltimore Party Marty. I am loved by many, misunderstood by a few, but I'm respected by all. I'm loved by many. I'm misunderstood by a few, but I'm West Baltimore Party Marty, and I'm respected by all. You will respect me. I went off on that. I wasn't even with Doc. Doc was having the march up there at Park Heights, Men Against Murder, and they was walking. So I said, you know, let me go up here, you know, get in this thing, and you know, just for a minute. This is how I didn't follow up. That's why I swallowed my pride and told them that I need to do better. This march, Men Against Murder, was literally a march. Doc with some cats, some hitters was up Park Heights walking up and down the street. Let me tell you something. When you walk up down the street, you also close up shops that make thousands and thousands of dollars. They ain't happy. He up there walking through that block. Shop closed.
Right.
You know what I mean? Shop closed. So I was up there. I thought for a minute, you know, I'm just go up in and man, it's intimidating. It's intimidating. You know, you gotta remember though, Crazy Ted is also six something tall. How tall are you, Ted?
6'4".
He's a menace.
Size
He's
13 shoe.
He's a big guy. He's a big guy. And like I'm saying, that's who we go get. My buddy Mad Max, and we out there fighting and stuff like that. We go get Max to fight Ted. You out there fighting Max, you go get Ted to fight Max. I'm saying you got some people. What he say? For some, I got up and I asked him, what did she say? For some reason, Gina and Cece, for some reason, I asked the guy when he cut me off, did he want to get out and talk? But for some reason, he didn't want to get out. For some reason, I asked him to get out the car. For some reason, he didn't want to get out the car.
He didn't want to. He stayed in there.
On his door, he pulled off and went through the red light for some reason. Doc is a big menacing guy.
He kept that seatbelt on.
Yeah.
To keep him safe. The seatbelt saved lives. That seatbelt help people. Believe that.
Hey. The seatbelt get on your nerves. Cece got that new Honda truck. That new Honda truck won't even move without telling you everything. Drive a seatbelt, package. I'm sick of that thing already, Jack. Mine tell you one time and that's it. Then he said,
well, maybe he had that technology that was telling him to keep his seatbelt on and stay in the car.
Yeah, that's funny. So that's what I'm saying. That seatbelt saved your life, but it was something being up there with Ted and them. So I played it off. I did my thing. I marched and said, yeah, and I eased and broke off and went got my dumb ass back in the car. I own up to my shortcomings. This wasn't what I thought.
I feel you.
Kumbaya. Nah, what you doing is walking through the neighborhood, shutting down corners. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's what you're doing. You telling somebody, hey, listen, Jack, I'm out here, and this is more important to me than you making money. I don't care if you got the new guy to have it. I don't care if you got the Killer B. I don't care if you got the Michael Jackson, Jordan, Killer, stuff like that on the strip. Right now, you shouldn't be out here, and we're going to march through here, and I don't care who you are. Ted makes enemies at that. Yeah. That was back in the day when he was just marching through your strip. That was before we talked about, you know, paneling this and all that. He just marched through your strip. That's what Men Against Murder was, a march. Mm-hmm. It was a march. When you hear these things, that's what it was. Now he's teaching us this other stuff that we can do. Pastor now is part of Men Against Murder. Dr. Sutton, Ted just now dubbed Gina as a member of Men Against Murder.
Yeah.
She did get it out there. You just became on a team. I want in. Cece, we're going to figure out who want in. So what we need to do, y'all, we need to figure out exactly what else we can do to help this cause. Because you know that this murder is running rampant. My grandson is dead. You ain't got to tell me about murder. You got to tell me nothing about murder. My grandson is dead. A promising 19-year-old, 18-year-old kid in high school graduating with everything to look forward to. He's dead. Nothing you can tell me about murder. He's dead. My daughter cries daily. Where we get our glasses from, you know what I mean? Her son was killed quite some time ago, and she can't stop crying. Gwen White just doodles all day long. Gwen White, her son was killed. They can't stop crying. This murder is really running rampant, and we need help. So everybody, find out what small thing you can do. Dr. Ted, when it's over, Cece is going, she's a banner person. It's blue, man, maybe green, maybe red. Who knows what it is? But she's going to put up some kind of information on how you can get in touch with Ted or get in touch with some of us to be part of Men Against Murder, because we need you. All right, y'all. Great topic. You know what I mean? Thank you for getting it going, Doc. Cece, we're going to jump over to you. Current events.
What you want to say smart first?
Nothing at all.
I don't see you approaching me with the same enthusiasm that you approached everybody else with. But since my skin is not thin, I'm going to carry on.
How did you have thin skin? You married to me, baby.
Say it again. But
hey, let me make y'all laugh before we go out here. I got my wife 3 years ago a Range Rover, and that was her retirement present. This present that we got now is our anniversary thing. So when she got the Range Rover, she was so enthused about it and stuff like that. I'm gonna tell you what's so funny, Gina. Here's what she told me the other day. I said, babe, you acting real funny with your truck and stuff like that. Doc, guess what she said? She said, but I'm nice to you. You can have the Range Rover. It's all yours.
And guess what? Ain't got out my truck since, but you ain't driving it today. Ain't driving it today. Let's just make sure we
Hey Doc, they give us the hand-me-down. And you know what? I leave this, rest in peace. My friend before Cece, we had a couple cars, but I don't know if Doc, if you go through this, but that's what Sylvia used to do. She come out in the morning, get ready to go to work. She turn the key. Ain't no gas in that car. She go back in the house, go take something else off the key hook. She keep turning keys till she find out which car got gas in it. And that's the one she driving that day. They drive a car till ain't no gas in it. And then when you get in it, you got to fill it up because you ain't going to ride without no gas. These women are something. Go ahead, baby.
I just wanted to say really quickly to Doc, Carol McNeil, good friend of ours. She said, Hot Iron MC LLC is available. She's a biker, and she's also a nurse. So okay. Hot Iron MC LLC, that's her biking organization. So she's jumping in there saying they're available to help as well. So
thank you. Thank you.
We'll get together, hey Doc, by next Tuesday when you're on it. We'll have some kind of format that we can, actually say what we've already gave you a brief synopsis of what you can do to help, but we're going to have a guideline, something that you can literally do to help, because Doc, these people want to help.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize, Steve. Go ahead.
No, I love it.
Yes, good job.
Good job, everybody.
Gina, you hot today as usual, girl. Batting 1,000, baby. Way to start us off, Gina. Let's go,
Right.
Okay, my topic for today is I wanted to speak about qualified immunity. Now, for those who don't know what qualified immunity is, which qualified immunity is legislation that has been designed to protect law enforcement officers from civil litigation. And what qualified immunity does is that, say a police officer is accused of using excessive force, and the family decides that they want to sue the police officer civilly.
Right.
Qualified immunity protects the officers civilly from being prosecuted, essentially, because it says that if there is not a clear precedent in which a case has already happened, that they know that they have violated the rights of an individual by their conduct, then they essentially have immunity. Now, what makes this whole concept really, really interesting, first of all, I'm sure Doc is familiar with it because it's part of the George Floyd police reform legislation. It's a big part of that, and what makes this really, really interesting to me is that, I ran across a few stories like this one lady, her son was killed by a park ranger, and there was 26 seconds. It was in New Mexico, and it was 26 seconds of body cam footage that was missing as usual. And the lady said that her son, but on the video, it clearly showed that her son had already been wounded. He was laying on the ground. He was unarmed. He was shot in the leg, and his cause of death was being shot at point blank range to the chest. Mm-hmm. So the officer actually shot and killed him after he had already wounded him, and he was no longer a threat. So this lady, and this was not a black person. This was not a black man. And this lady wanted to take civil action against the park ranger. Now, I don't know if everybody knows this, but park rangers are federal employees. Mm-hmm. And she ran into this qualified immunity thing. She also said that while her son lay on the ground dying, the officer had a cup of coffee. Mm-hmm. And she ran into the qualified immunity obstacle when she went to file a civil suit against this park ranger, because there was not a documented case that clearly stated that behavior such as what the officer displayed was a violation of his constitutional rights. Now, they always use language like what a reasonable person would know, or what a reasonable officer would. A human being should know that you don't shoot somebody point blank in the chest that's laying on the ground unarmed and then drink a cup of coffee. I mean, if you are a law enforcement officer of any kind, if you work for the dog catcher and you don't know that, then you have no business with that job. I mean, some things are just common sense, but this type of legislation. So when I said that it was part of the George Floyd police reform bill, they are making this a political issue, and they want to remove this from the reform bill altogether, because they feel as if this is keeping people from wanting to be police officers. This is they feel like this is an attack on police officers, to say that people don't want their lives taken and their civil rights violated, and then when the criminal court doesn't do anything, that they can't get any remedy. So now, not only are we shielding these bad actors from criminal prosecution, now we're saying that we can't even go to civil court because they have clearly violated someone's constitutional rights, because you have a constitutional right against excessive force. Mm-hmm. So I just thought that this was a sad but interesting concept, that we are basically saying that, they get an impenetrable shield from prosecution. So,
well, that's a great topic. Doc. Can't hear you, Doc.
Oh, I'm trying to get my mute button up. Actually, okay. I'm aware of that case. I did a lot of work in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I worked in an area called the War Zone. And there was more than just one case. They actually even had a person that was in a tent, and he was but he was actually homeless. And they had the footage that they ended up finding. And initially, it was missing. And they shot a person. They shot him point blank, cold blood, and he had no weapon also. But I am definitely aware of this case. I was doing work with the Martin Luther King Center, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and different things of that nature. But one is that they had they have to go back to also how they're training their officers. Because to be honest with you, they need diversity, sensitivity classes, and different things. Do you know that to get a barber's license, they have more hours that's required to get barber's license than for you to get qualified for using your firearm and how you work with the community? And I think that that's meaning like meaning that a person that's going to line my hair, he's definitely got to be more qualified than a person that's going to actually be judge, jury, and could possibly be executioner to my son. I mean, do y'all really hear that? I mean, you know, like a person that's giving me a fade should have more qualified hours than the person that can be judge, jury, and executioner. I don't know what will happen to me. I said that even officers should be allowed to have a mental health day. If they having a bad day, don't go to work today then.
Yeah.
For that female officer that just got into it with a boyfriend, seeing all of this stuff he been sending to somebody else, and now I look like him and you pull me over. If you having a mental health day, you need to stay home. And then also the training of doing the double tap. So they train to shoot twice at one time. So they do the double tap, send a mass. There's no training about shooting in the arm. There's no training about shooting in the leg because a person is fleeing the community. Actually, the rules are that you're supposed to use reasonable amount to just subdue the person that is fleeing. You know, but if they are fleeing, you're not even really supposed to shoot them unless they have been deemed a danger to society. So a lot of these situations, you're talking about people that's getting pulled over for a light, a tag, a tail light, you know, and different things, and then they don't come home. And so to me, when is my day in court ever going to happen? Because it sounds like I can have a day at the morgue, or I can have a day for my funeral, or, you know what I'm saying, or for my mother to pick out the casket, but I never had my actual day in court to say whether I was innocent or guilty. And so, you know, I think that rule needs to 100% be removed, you know, as far as with that. They also have another one that's called the gag order, where the families that they actually pay, if they give you some money, if you take that money, they are making you not say a word. You have to sign a paper saying that I'm receiving money but I am also selling my voice. So now I can't talk about and tell people and share with people how wrong the police had done me. You know, and I think that, you know, that rule has to be removed. You know, because to me, it also goes to being unconstitutional. This is not what happens to the freedom and the pursuit of happiness. That's removing my pursuit of happiness. I can't do anything because I can't even talk about what the police did to me. And so with that being, you know, said, for people, they want people to act right, right? They want them to follow and obey the rules. Let me ask you this. What are people going to think, especially street people, if I know that it's a 90% chance that I'm not going to make it out of this stop? You're going to have more people fleeing, more people running, and more people trying to grab for their gun to protect themselves. See, to me, I never really had no problem. It was always name, rank, and serial number. I get pulled over. I give them the license registration. I know you do not have permission to search my car, but if you choose to on your own, you do what you got to do. And I'm planning on fighting whatever in court. I'm not going to be doing all this extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? But when people feel that if I obey the rules, and you like Eric Garner, who had his hands up the entire time, and they came at him because he was selling Lucy cigarettes. But the white gentleman that went in the church and killed over 12 people, they took him to
Eating hamburger. Eating a hamburger.
And the thing about this qualified immunity, Doc, is that it's such a catch-22. It's a double-edged sword because you can't prosecute these officers in civil court because there has to be a case that happened before yours
Right.
that sets the precedent. So who can be the first case? You know what I'm saying? It has to be a first time for everything. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
So if it has to be a case before mine where somebody exhibited this same behavior, then essentially they saying that that they just exempt from prosecution because somebody has to be the first. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm the first one that ever came up with this and I come to court and you tell me that, you know, my case can't go forward because there's never been another case to set the precedent. Somebody has to set the precedent. Somebody has to be number one. So that's just, it doesn't even make sense.
Right, right.
Gina?
I don't even know what to say. It's perplexing because, you know, I'm like you say, I mean, where do we start with this? I mean, Doc said it needs to go. So, I mean, what do we do? Do we try to get legislation changed? Is that our answer? Is what do we do?
It's currently, you know, it's currently being, you know, they're trying to change the legislation currently, but the thing about it is, like I said, it becomes a polarizing issue because everything becomes political. You know, of course, the Republicans are saying, you know, we don't care if it's part of the bill or not. We want it removed. You know, if y'all want to move forward on some of these other police reform things, then let's just turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to this one. We don't want it removed, you know. And the Democrats who are, Cory Booker is one that I can think of right off the top of my head, who are fighting for this legislation to be changed. You know, they get to a point where they become weary of having to fight for this certain little, as they think, you know, a small piece when they can get the bulk of the legislation approved if they just bend on this one. But this one is too important to bend. You know, this is too important to bend. I don't, you know, it's always the left against the right, Republicans against Democrats, but this is just a civil rights, constitutional, you know what I'm saying? This is a basic human rights issue. So I think it's too important for us to go for the big part and just say this is just one small part that we removed. They say even George Floyd's family went to DC to try to speak with some of our legislators about not ignoring this piece. It's too important. And I mean, people think that it's about money. It creates frivolous lawsuits against law enforcement, but that's not it. But when you can't get justice in the criminal court, then even though if you get a civil suit, it'll never bring your loved ones back, but it provides some form of vindication for these families.
You know, Doc made a good point. First of all, good points, everybody in the panel. Doc made a good point. I just thought about it. You know, because I have a business and I carry money. I'm also a security person. I watch stuff with a gun, and I loan myself out to when the little rappers come in town or stuff like that. I do private security, so I have a gun. I have a permit to carry a gun around. And I'm ex-West Baltimore, dope fiend, jailbird, criminal thug. I got a gun, got a permit with a gun. Doc said something that I didn't think about is heavy. You know, my whole process of getting my gun is a week. 4 days. It took 4 days for me to be a registered firearms carrier. 4 days. On the 5th day, I qualified. And then, as Doc said, when we qualified, there's no shooting you in the leg. That is actually how we are trained to shoot. Double tap in the chest. And you ask, then he draws a circle on the head. He tells you to hit the right arm, which is not the right arm, the right body mass, the left body mass, the stomach, the stomach, the head, center mass, center mass. Right, left, tap, 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 tap. And I'm qualified. Matter of fact, I fail if I hit him in the leg. I fail if I hit you in the foot. And that's not what I'm trained to do. For me to be qualified and requalified, I have to hit you with what's called kill shots. This is what the picture, the silhouette that they aim down there. Y'all see it on all the Law and Order pictures and the fire ranges and stuff like that. Well, it's a real picture they put up there. And it shows you in the circle what to hit and what not to hit. So just something to think about, y'all. You know, CC, very good today. Usual. It's always going to be controversial, you know, but it's important events happening in our world today. You know, I want y'all to listen to our panel, what's going on. Doc, who never has a topic, who always has a topic. Doc don't never have no topic. So I got to segue him in. You know what I mean? He came over there, anchored everything and gave us something. Men Against Murder, talked about where we are. Gina, that started off the day, did another home run show. CC, who did her due diligence, watching TV all this morning like she's doing. I want y'all to know we offer a good panel to y'all. I mean, if you're out there in podcast, man, you watching Simply Us, you're getting the best of the best. I'm not going to knock anybody else's podcast because everybody's podcast has a message, but we don't spend every day talking about politics. We don't spend every day talking about revitalizing Baltimore. We don't spend every day talking about Men Against Murder. We talk about everything. It's not a black show, a white show. This is an informative show. And that's what we're doing. Okay, Gina has two topics. Before Gina's going to end us today, before Gina has her topic, I'm going to go in there with my topic. This is something that has to be addressed. Hey, Party Marty. What's your topic today? All right, y'all. I'm Simply Us, Party Marty. Let's talk. See how I segue in? Y'all thought I was going to get my segue in there because y'all eliminated my segue in, but it didn't work on me. You can't unsegue the seguer. So I segue. So I got him, didn't I? Yeah. So anyway, I want to talk about something that's on the format. That's on the format that this is all about. I want to talk about proper grief out there. I want to talk about proper grief. Y'all out there in the world, especially us persons of color. And then again, that's an important thing that Doc said. It ain't of color. Because I know just as many dope fiend white people as I do black people. I know just as many white thugs and locked up. You know, y'all stop thinking we're the only people in jail. We ain't. White boys over there in jail, them white girls running around there with the little naughty-headed baby and stuff like that, locked up like the rest of us. So this drugs and murder and stuff like that is not a color thing. We all getting this. But I want to talk to you about properly grieving because I did not. Because I did not. I went to therapy to get a work slip to get signed because I was out. Everybody that gave me some mental health days, everybody that helped my daughter, Tiffany, everybody that gave us time, thank you. Everybody at any time when people go through grief and stuff like that and you donate some of your time, that's your time. You work for that. Gina, no, that's your state time. You didn't call out so you could pile your time up and then somebody else uses it. I needed to use that. A bunch of people gave me time. A bunch of people gave my daughter time because she had a son shot and paralyzed on Sunday and the son murdered on Tuesday. You know? And then a brother in jail on Friday with a heinous charge. Now, I didn't properly grieve. I didn't properly grieve. That's why when you look, it's always water running down my eyes. It's just as much a problem as anything else. Now, I ain't having no nervous breakdowns and all that kind of stuff like that, but I didn't properly grieve. My father told me when my brother over 30 years ago died from the HIV virus because he was an intravenous drug user. Drum roll, please. He shot dope. My brother, Honey, Bonnie, and Purdy, they was tough. They street guys. They legends. They West Baltimore thugs. They gangsters. And they was also dirt murderers and dope fiends, too. So my father told me not to, when I was going to the room, I go in there and I cry because my brother, and he said, "Wait, big boy, stop crying." Men don't cry. My father told me to stop crying, so I stopped crying. So I didn't properly grieve that, my brother. Now with my grandson being murdered, all I spent time, Dr. Ted, was how could I get him to kill him? Who made my grandson die? Who made my daughter cry? You know what I mean? I spent all my time, all my money, all my street resources figuring out how to get him to kill him. So I didn't properly grieve. I'm finding out now. It's important, y'all. It's important when your father dies, Dr. Ted, and your father's a man with many degrees, a world traveler, a prominent pastor and stuff like that. You gotta grieve properly.
Yes.
You gotta grieve. You gotta grieve. Gina, your husband, your future husband, your soulmate forever, is gone. You feel me? I look at Gina. If you watch Gina, she didn't properly grieve. She knows that God made a good decision. He took him. She always says you never think that God ever makes a bad decision, but that don't mean she can't grieve. Gina can't stop crying. I can't stop crying. I never know about Doc because he got glasses on. He always puts on the toughest on and stuff like that, but he lost a hell of a man. He lost a hell of a man, and that man that Doc lost was the spearhead, the leader, the alpha male of not only his family, the family's family. Cece, I won't tell her business, but her baby daddy, her kid's father, his mother passed. He never got over it, but his mother was the alpha male. She just wasn't a male. She was the alpha of the family. Michael Singletary chiming in. You know, we sometimes don't properly grieve. We don't properly grieve, man. We up there killing each other and all that kind of stuff. I ain't talking about the murders. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking properly grieving. Pastor Rhonda, Pastor Williams and stuff, they have classes on people and her to talk to you about grieving. People always say, I send my condolences, prayers going up. If we just put that on there on Facebook, just put that on there. Well, I ain't saying we don't mean it, but we don't mean it. We got so much stuff going on. We got to go off and do what we doing. Doc say we got to go over there. I can't be working on Men Against Murder on Sunday, the Raven game on. And tell us my grandson laying there in the street. And the first thing I'm saying, man, damn the game. You had a chance to say damn the game last month when we was trying to get it together before your grandson was laying in the street. Properly grieving, y'all. We have to properly grieve. We as people of color, we're so busy being tough, we don't properly grieve. We don't properly grieve. So now that I'm 65 years old, I don't know what's the matter with me that I keep crying. I keep crying all the time. Things that matter to me, now they matter to me. I care nothing about you, chumps. I'm over that jail. That blade tied taped to my hand, climbing up that cage after you. I ain't crying. Running on them corners, you know I needed $6. I asked you for $6 to give me a bag of dope. You act like you didn't want to give it to me now. When I take it from you, all of a sudden I'm a bad person. I wasn't crying, ripping and running through these God-forsaken streets, robbing, pillaging, and plundering. I wasn't crying. But now I can't stop crying. Not even everything that ain't even said. Somehow because I'm happy, I cry. I cry all the time because I did not address properly grieving. My prayer to everybody out there, if you need a counselor, get you a counselor. You need some time off from work, like Doctor said. You need a personal day. Man, take a personal day. We won't talk names out there, but Cece and I know some guys that work with us, a guy in particular, stuff like that. He has a working holiday, working vacation. What does that mean? That means he put in for 2 weeks vacation, but he work every day. That gives him a double. It's more money. You don't realize that. That's sick. You need vacation time, but you need a vacation.
Right. Kay Boone said, as a partner in the funeral business, grief is a process that we as a people tend to suppress. Every person grieves differently, but truth be told, we all need to release our feelings, especially in death. Absolutely.
See, that's one thing is we have become desensitized. So like when I go to places and I see these beautiful areas and everybody just out in playgrounds and then I look at where I was on Monument Street talking to some young guys, and as I'm talking to them, their head is moving. Their head is on the swivel because they want to make sure ain't nobody running up on them. And so what I realized that somewhere else, and let's say Boise, Idaho, if they would have come here, it would look like a crazy day.
Exactly.
But then I would just tell them, no, this is just Tuesday, or this is just Thursday here, meaning that we have become desensitized. So we don't really, we have had to deal with it so long and so much, you know what I'm saying, that it's actually Baltimore is really known for headshots. They're known for kill shots. That's why our murder rate is up so high. They're known for headshots. You know, when you go other places, you know, that's not as much the situation. So we have to understand that, you know, that this is not okay. This is not just a Tuesday. We should be up in arms about a 7-year-old being killed. We should be up in arms about our 14-year-old man, a young man losing his life. We should be up in arms about a 16-year-old girl being shot on her own porch. We should be up in arms about it. We should not be okay with it. And in that, it's happened so much that we don't think we need therapy. Because, and then see, people of color really didn't deal with a lot of therapy growing up. We dealt with, you better talk to grandma or pastor or something like that, but you keep all of our business in this house. Don't you run out there and tell nobody our business. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of people got away with molesting children, with raping children, doing certain things because everything had to stay in the house. No, they should have got him some help and they should have got her some help.
Yeah.
And so, you know, with that being, you know, said, you know, that, and it's funny you say that because that's actually what I had talked, because my wife is a clinical social worker. She does therapy. And so that's what I was doing, a clinical mentoring program. But Men Against Murder wants to also focus on helping people with grief, you know, saying clinically, and being able to have somebody to talk to and somebody to support them through the situation. Because sometimes if the only people they come in contact with are the police trying to get information, sometimes they may not be as sensitive as the family really needs. They not trained for that. That's a whole nother part. All they want is the facts. And so, you know, we have to come back to being the village that takes care of the village. We're going to have to find ways to be able to take care of our own.
CC, comment, what is it like to live with this man, to know the other side of him, to see that this is what he deals with? I mean, I really don't see it as a badge of honor that I didn't cry and all that kind of stuff like that. But like Doc said, it's all I knew. I don't know how to be a chump. I don't know how to run over. Like I tell you, and when you think you're banking me, when two of y'all run at me, first of all, you better be ready to fight, because I can beat the average two chumps. Not that I'm tough, but I'm just used to fighting back. So I don't know how to be a chump. Now, after you beat me bad enough, then I'm going to run like anybody else. But until you start beating me, I ain't running nowhere. You got to show me that the 2 or 3 of y'all can beat me first, because I'm going to fight. And Cece lives in the house with this man that she sees another side of that a lot of y'all don't see. She know I don't watch scary movies. I don't watch nothing scary. I don't watch nothing scary. I don't like television shows with a whole bunch of everybody going to jail, and you know what I mean? I can't stand it. I don't watch cops, none of that kind of stuff. I don't know how they watch that. I don't want to see bad things happen to people. But she knows that her husband is really sentimental. For some reason, water comes to his eyes a lot. And I know she looks back and say, this is not who I met at work. This is not who I knew. What is it like dealing with this in your house, CC, especially coming from your husband?
I mean, for me, it doesn't bother me, because I think that it's always healthy for people to express their feelings, you know, and crying is a form of expressing your feelings, and we all need to learn to not shy away from our expression of our feelings when we are grieving about things. You know, happy tears, sometimes you have, and sometimes it's just tears from being sad, but we need to get away from the mentality. You know, a lot of these things are deeply embedded in us as a people. You know, the don't tell what goes on inside of our home, the men don't cry, you know, even down to the eat everything on your plate before you get up the table off up from the table. So some of these things are, I'm not going to say that they are wrong, but they are just antiquated trains of thought. And we have learned to shy away from these things and to be more open and honest. You know, as a person that worked for Child Protective Services, that a lot of these things have been closed, these issues, children being molested and abused and all this stuff, you know, they were cloaked in secrecy because it was as I think Bunny just said, it was a taboo subject. You know, so we have to learn to embrace these things. And I just look at you, you know, the way you sometimes get sentimental and you cry about these things. I think that I think that it's healthy. You know, I think that it's healthy. We got to learn to do more of it. It's not, you know, men cry every day. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know, excuse me, Gina, before you give it your part, I want to say this. I thought about something. Y'all know I'm up in the age, and if it comes to my mind, I better say it. I forget. Hey, listen, one of my co-workers happened to tell me something. They're from Africa, Nigeria and stuff like that, and we always we talk. They're really knowledgeable people. Don't sleep on them, y'all. Don't sleep on them. You feel me? They're knowledgeable people that do a lot of reading. But it was funny what he told me. He said, I'm going to tell you how we get poisoned. We just was holding a regular conversation. He said, like Tarzan. Tarzan was my favorite movie coming up. Tarzan, I love Tarzan. You know what I mean? He come tussle and stuff like that. He said, but we come along. I want you to think of how dumb that was, how they poisoned us over there. Now, no Africans will watch Tarzan. That's the worst, heinous. If you watch Tarzan, you like you're ostracized. You know what I mean? I thought that was crazy. But he told me, he said, because you know what? That's what they did. They poisoned us. They told us that this one wonderful man swung through the trees, controlled all the animals, and beat up whole villages of black people. I said, man, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Think about it. Think about it. He said this was the poison that they put in our head as a young age, that was something that happened. You feel me? Real talk. This is just something. When he started telling me the story, it seemed like it was going all over the place. But as y'all were just talking about this and this topic, we get poisoned with some things that's told. My father told me don't cry. My hero wasn't Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and none. My heroes was my big brothers and my father. He told me, men, don't cry. Stop crying. You ain't going to be able to go in there and see your brother no more. Don't cry. So I got a hard heart. I stopped crying. And then later on, Big Luther told me that God melted my heart. Now my heart was so hard for so long that now it's gotten soft. I care about people's feelings. I don't want to see people hurt anymore. Remember Ted back in the day when you jumped on somebody? Y'all remember when it was a fight, you would go see the fight so you could watch the fight? Now we break up the fight. I stopped the club. Remember what y'all fighting for? The kids over there, Galveston, they be jumping on somebody. I go get them. They look like that. I don't care if it's 20 of y'all. I break the fight. I put that little kid in the car like I wish somebody would do. What's his name told me that's how y'all met, Doc.
Remo.
Big Remo said, man, I could be dead today if Doc don't stop. I didn't know who he was, but he saved me. But sometimes you just don't know. Y'all,
people got to understand that people that have been through war, if you've seen war, you don't want war. The people that really brag about, I can't wait till this happen. I want to grab my chop, and that's people that ain't really been through war. You know what I'm saying? That's they on some cyber gangster rap music war type stuff. It's like this is what you listening to, so you think that you supposed to kill him because he looked at you. You know what I'm saying? And you think it's glorified and taking a life. You know what I'm saying? And so, so we have they've been tricked. A lot of our youth have been tricked to believe in that. You know what I'm saying? But if they really had when you've had your best friend killed next to you, like for me, who I had to hold my best friend's brains in while the paramedics came, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, and that was on some real stuff. And the dude the dude Count was right across the street looking at me while I was doing it. So on, you know, over there near Preston Street, you
Black
know.
Count?
Yeah, you know, from Count, Tall Count.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He was there. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying though is when you have seen war and when you have really been in war, you don't want war. You see, it's not that I'm, you know, turned soft. I've gotten wise. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, nah, yo, you know what I'm saying? That ain't even worth it. So I do more trying to stop things, you know what I'm saying, than to prevent it. See, I watch for those Don Kings, and I call them Don Kings because they fight promoters. They the ones that always instigate fights.
Gina,
but they never the one fighting.
You catch that one?
You see, she
Don
got her
King?
paid.
Don King, did you catch that? There go Doc with the one line. I call him Don King. They fight promote. There you go. There you go, podcast land. There you go. There you go. There you go, podcast land. I call him Don King because they fight promoters. Go ahead, Doc.
Promoters, man. They don't go through the pain that Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali went through. They the ones that just promote the fight. And they stand back and watch you go through. They watch you get suspended from school. They watch you get locked up. They watch you, you know what I'm saying, somebody that come back after you because they can't beat you with their hands and shoot you in the back. They watch all of that, and it's entertainment for them. And we have to teach our children to know the Don Kings when they see them, and don't let them gas them up. You know what I'm saying, to do something that they can't come back from.
Yeah.
Gina?
That's deep. I just want to say, I looked at an interview a couple days ago of a guy. Y'all might know him, y'all might not. They call him the Wall Street Trapper. And he was talking about his life and how he has gotten to the point where he is. And he is an entrepreneur now, okay? But he came up much like you on the street. At 14, he watched his mother get killed right in front of him. His mother sold drugs when he was a kid, you know, grew up, he went to jail. He been in jail, you know, for like 8 years or something. So when he came out, he didn't have anything to come to. You know, he went to go stay with his grandmother, but his grandmother had started a small business of her own, a fruit business. And he said that was the first taste that he had of, okay, there's a different way of life. But he still needed money. So, of course, he went back out on the corner. So eventually, of course, you know, he went back to jail. And when the judge gave him, he said he gave him 15 years. And he said he looked at the judge and basically was like, you know, you just ruined my life. But he went on and he went in and they put him in a cell with this white guy. And the white guy told him that y'all are playing the wrong game. And he said when the jail that they were in, they wore wristbands to tell what they were in for. They had different colors. And he said the guy had a color where he was in for a federal crime. And here he's in for like attempted murder, and he had shot somebody 6 times and did drugs and everything. And the guy told him, he was like, you know, he's like, man, what are you talking about? And the man told him, he said, I'm in here because I had $2 million. I swindled $2 million. I paid $800,000 in restitution. When I get out, I still have money. So he told him about the stock market and stuff like that. He didn't want to hear that. But now
Right.
he's an entrepreneur, right? He took that and used it in a mentality of, if I can sell drugs on a corner, I should be able to invest in the stock market. I should be able to dig myself up out of this hole legally. So he, and he said while he was in there, he read and he learned a lot about the stocks and like, how to invest. And he said when he got out and after he became successful, he said he met the judge that gave him that time. And he told him, I want to say thank you, because it gave me time to sit down and read and learn. Otherwise, I would have never did that. But what he was saying is, now that I know, I've got to teach my people the same thing.
Right.
I've got to teach, he said, and of course, when I pull up the brothers that I used to, split a package with, I can't convince them right away. Well, look, if you buy a share of Apple, and God forbid you get some time or something like that, when you come out after that 5 years, you'll have something. Your family will have, your girl, your mother, your kids will have something if God forbid anything happens to you. So all I want to say is that I was told two things: that tears are prayers when you don't have the words. That's what that you are displaying. And the other thing is, and I don't remember who posted this, but grieving is like having a handful of glitter and throwing it up in the air and letting it fall wherever it might. And you go get a vacuum cleaner and you vacuum and you vacuum and you vacuum and you vacuum. But 3 years later, you can sit down on the couch and all of a sudden find a piece of that glitter.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gina. That's
It
so
never
true.
goes away. It never goes away. So I just want to say that this guy, he basically was saying we need to empower each other, and lift each other up, like Doc has been trying to pound into everybody's head. Lift each other up. And then we also, if you are or you have an emotion, let it out. Let it out. Because somebody might benefit from the fact that you have feelings. Somebody might say, oh, darn, shoot. If Hard Party can shed a tear, darn, I guess I can at least feel sorry for him. Not sorry for you, Party, but sorry for someone else. It just might change somebody's outlook. That's all.
Hey, y'all. I'll make a final comment on my topic. Real talk, y'all. This is what we're saying. Everybody grieves differently, and y'all, you find somebody. Rhonda's a pastor. Find somebody to talk to. Dr. Ted, you know what I mean? He talks with people. That's what he does. His wife is a counselor. You might need somebody because I just used my time with I went through what's it called, the counselors and site stuff too. That's just part of the state. I just use that to make sure that I got my slip signed. You feeling me? But I wasn't spending no time in there. Wasn't thinking about that. All I was thinking about is be glad when this hour over, because I'm gonna find him. So I didn't grieve at all, Ted. I didn't grieve. I grieved because it was harder to get bullets. Remember, you had a while that we couldn't get bullets. So that's all my thought was, and that's how sick it made me. So everybody that's out there, please take time out to grieve. With all the sadness that's going on to grieve, Gina says, cry. Nothing wrong with crying. Because my crying is water coming out my eyes. Ain't no boo-hoo shit. There's water coming out my eyes. That's all. Don't think I'm over here boo-hooing. Water comes out of my eyes and I have no control over it. All right, y'all. Once again, another great show. Hey, Gina, do you want to do your next topic? We're saving it.
That's up to you.
Go ahead. Do your thing, Gina.
It's fairly quick.
Do your thing.
Oh,
wait a minute. Gina. Gina, I said, I said, Jim, I mean, what's your topic today? To segue in. I'm Party Marty. Let's talk.
Well, my second topic is that Balenciaga has created a sweatpant with boxers sewn into the waistband. And they're charging $1,190 for these sweatpants so that people can put, well, I say men, can put them on and look like they got sagging pants.
Jeez.
Okay. I couldn't believe that they actually are trying to, I mean, this is something that Black males have been labeled as thugs and a threat to American society for wearing sagging pants. You know, we've been criminalized and everything because of sagging pants. Right. But here, Balenciaga creates this daggone same thing, and now all of a sudden it's a fashion statement, and you're gonna like make that, you're gonna make a profit off of it, and you're gonna try to say, here it is. They got the underwear sewn into the waistband so that they can look like the rappers and so forth here with their pants hanging below their behind. So you don't even have to put on drawers now. They got the drawers sewn.
And guess what, Gina? They probably sold out as we speak.
Look, and they said that their stock dropped 47% when they came out with it. That's what they say. But I'm sure, because you know who bought them? Not us, because we ain't got no $1,000 to spend on no darn sweatpants.
Right.
So I just, they're being criticized, saying that this is racist, that it's they're trying to steal an idea that was developed by Black culture, hip hop culture, and make money off of it. It's terrible.
The bottom line is, Ted would know this. I know this because I lived there. When you walked around with your pants low, showing the top of your drawers, in the penal system, it meant you was available. It meant you was available. People don't know that. The reason how when the top of your drawers start being shown is because them twisters used to walk around with their pants down. That let everybody know that that's what they wanted. Man, y'all done went over there and went over to jail and saw something and didn't even know what you're doing. You run around with your pants down, you're giving the wrong image. Then you think it's being tough. You know what I mean? But that's not what it really means. Gina, that's a nice cool topic. I never would have thought anything like that. That's crazy as hell. $1,000 for them.
$1,000.
I just hate to say it about our young people, and please forgive me, but they just, some of this stuff is just damn dumb. You know what I'm saying? That somebody would, they thought of the idea because they feel like it's a market for it. You know what I'm saying? They get endorsed by Cardi B, mentioning them in their songs. So now it's eyes on this designer. So then they do stuff to exploit the very people who are supposed to be their customer base. But some of this stuff is bad home training by some of these parents, you know. Like I always tell, I mean, I like to shop and dress just as much as the next person, but I'm telling you, I pride myself on, outside maybe of sneakers or something like that, I don't need nobody's name plastered all over me, because some of this stuff you patronize these companies and you don't even know what they stand for. You know what I'm saying? These people will go out here because Cardi B said something about Balenciaga. They'll go out here and buy Balenciaga. They don't have no idea what these people stand for. So you know,
and that's what Rihanna wore to that Met Gala the other night, Balenciaga. You know,
just and like they had. I mean, this ain't the exact same subject, but I'm just saying, like, some of these celebrity endorsed things, just like they had Nicki Minaj out here telling people not to get the COVID shot because one of her cousins in Trinidad became impotent from taking it. You know, he got erectile dysfunction from taking it. You know, and then they had these people scrambling to really had that White House and everybody scrambling to investigate her claims and all of this stuff. Why? Because she got such a big platform. I forgot how many millions of viewers they said that she had, but if somebody that has that kind of platform can act that irresponsibly, then a lot of people go and listen to it. You know, they have a big following, and this like Maurice said, you know, his heroes was his fathers and his brothers, his father and his brothers. These kids, their heroes is Nicki Minaj and Cardi B, you know. So if they say it, they gonna believe that it can't be a lie if Nicki Minaj said it, you know. And they actually took valuable resources, White House people and all of this, to investigate this thing, and wound up being absolutely baseless, as we all could have figured, you know. But it was resources wasted, but they had to do it because these are the heroes.
And then, like that article, I thought this was the stupidest thing yet. That article that I sent you about, it was a rapper that actually got chains implanted in his scalp so that it would hang down.
Gold chains.
Chains like you wear around your
necklace.
Implanted in his head.
Surgically
hang down like hair. Yes.
Yeah, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard.
I'm telling you. It's and then I think it was another rapper, Uzi Vert or somebody.
Lil Uzi Vert.
We got, now, first of all, you got enough money to buy a 24 karat diamond. So what do you do with it? You get it implanted in the center of your forehead.
And then it fell out. He should have lost it.
Somebody ripped that thing out his head.
Out there jumping into the crowd.
Somebody ripped that thing. He got it back. But he lucky he got it back for one thing. But then you got a big giant hole in the middle of your head.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting to hear somebody done pulled them daggone chains out that man's scalp.
Better not get in a fight. Better not get in a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, y'all know what on a lighter side, you know what I mean? Hey, on a lighter side, these ladies, y'all, with this paparazzi stuff is something. You see Gina talking, them earrings just dangling. My wife is shaking her head like she got a head full of hair. Earrings just dangling. This paparazzi jewelry stuff is really for 5 hours has took on a life of its own. My wife has nice jewelry. That's you see these? She mad at me. You see these in my head? These studs, these 1 carat beast studs and stuff cost me a couple stacks. They my wife's. I got my over here pierced because she don't wear them. But my wife dresses up in the mirror all day with that paparazzi stuff on. Do you hear me? And they look so good.
Anybody else have a husband that take all that stuff? I mean, he drove my car. He stole my diamonds. I mean, where does this end? Where does this really end?
Hey, that's something. AJ, I want y'all to know. It's funny how these people went off and did this $5 thing. These people went off and did this $5 thing. I don't know what they was thinking about. That they were geniuses. Look at Cece turning her head. When she get to talk, when she start doing her hair like that, Gina can't even hide hers because they get longer, they get bigger. My wife like the big hoops. She ain't found a hoop she don't like big as a head. Look at that.
True
you know
story.
What I mean? Then, yeah, she like hoops. Then you know what I mean? It's so funny because at $5 you can have so much of it.
Yeah.
Gina, you see that bag that Gina was laughing about? That's my wife's. We saw that as a joke. Because it was her anniversary, because it's our anniversary, when we finally go out to eat, Gina's going to give my wife a whole bag full of this stuff. And guess what? My wife is sitting there waiting to go out to eat. She ain't going to think about what she going to order on the menu. She going to think about when she get there, Gina going to have her bag.
And let me let all of y'all know that yesterday for my anniversary, I didn't get to go nowhere, running up and down, saving the world, doing everything that I had to do. So... yeah.
Hey, Rhonda,
make sure I put my husband
Bunny,
out there.
Sugar Mama, Vita Sessions, that package is coming this weekend.
That's
Say
right.
whatever
Thank
you want.
Vita.
She's riding around collecting that money, y'all. Everybody out there on Spotlight on small businesses. She's riding around collecting that money. You hear me? Thank you very much, Bunny, for the ideas, and thank you for spending. Pastor Rhonda, Cece got to go over there and finally meet her. They sat over in the kitchen and chopped it up for a minute. They'll be back. You know what I mean? And Rhonda's an awesome individual. This pastor right here, I've been knowing all her life. You know what I mean? When I say literally all her life, I knew her when she was a baby. You know what I mean? Her brother and I are best friends. But I watch, you know what I mean? This person has a good heart. If you want to talk with somebody about a counseling and grieving and stuff like this is a good pastor. You want to talk when Gina started telling you about when she went over there and had her big payday with her paparazzi. It was over the pastor's house. She went over there and got my wife. What'd she tell you? I had my shot. I'm okay. Give me a hug. I had my shot. I'm okay. She's a hugger.
That's right, buddy. A sister gotta do what a sister gotta do. You got it.
Yeah. So we rode around and did that, and that was our thing. So anyway, before we leave, y'all, we're gonna let you know. We have a special going on tomorrow. We're having Gina Lee and Cece. Tell them about tomorrow and what y'all are having.
I will be doing 20% off on Nature's Secrets products, and I want to introduce some new products to you guys. Some facial masks and things. So I had some new products that I want to show, but we're going to be doing 20% off for the weekend. So on the baskets. So get your basket. Put your order in.
Lisa over there that missed out on that last bracelet, and Pastor Rhonda that couldn't find the medallion you was looking for. We want y'all to know Gina has reloaded. Gina has reloaded. She said
with new pieces.
Yeah, Gina has reloaded. Now she has a whole gang of new stuff that we're going to be introducing tomorrow. And we
said, oh, how she broke again.
And listen, And tomorrow, Pastor Rhonda has put us in with one of the persons that she's having come on. It's a lady that has some hair care products, which is a human hair that she said is the beast. They'll tell you about it. Rhonda said she had to stop using Lady for a while because the hair, it was making her hair grow so fast. She kept spending up all that money getting a hair cut.
And she got a head full of hair right now.
A head full of hair.
Long,
Hey,
full hair, so.
that's so funny when they do that, Gina. You know, Rhonda always had a head full of hair since a child. That's a head full of hair. Hey, y'all, let me say this, and they're going to get mad at me, but I don't care. I bet you soon as that Michael Singletary out there, podcast land and major the racetrack, soon as the horse find out he coming to Baltimore or Maryland, they get to howling and screaming. You know the new thing is? They tell the horse, hey, guess what? He said, where you going, Jack? He said, man, I'm going to Baltimore. And all the rest of the horses look at him. Guess what he said? No, I ain't going there for that. I'm going to be in the Preakness. That's the new lie that they tell the horses when they come to Baltimore and Maryland. You're going to be in the Preakness. So they say, I'm going to be in the Preakness, Jack. I'm going to be in the Preakness. They get over there, that man got them clippers. There go the Preakness. They cutting that hair off your damn head, you fool. You ain't in no Preakness. You walk slow. You know you don't run fast. You idiot. Boy, they love this. Boy, they had their hair poofed up looking good. Anyway, y'all, thank you very much. Hands up to a good show. Hands up, hands up, hands up. It's hard. Gina always says this. And I laugh about it. But Gina always says this, and this is true. My wife says none of our shows are alike. We haven't had two shows that are alike, and we don't do it on purpose. And CC, Gina, you know, it's how you like the show. Gina, you know Gina's favorite line is better than the last one. And how you like that? Better than the last one. All the shows are different. We got a lot of information for you. Hey, y'all, one last thing before we leave out of here. Hey,
I want to say, wait a minute, before you say that, I want to use one of your lines. I had to show this picture. This fool. I want to use one of your lines. Damn fool.
That's real.
Fool.
They go.
That's real.
That's real. Yeah. That's damn fool. Okay.
Damn fool.
You can go ahead.
Yeah. You're right, Gene. That's the damn fool.
I'm waiting for the article that says somebody pulled it out. I'm waiting.
It's coming.
I'm waiting.
Hey, listen, y'all. Real talk. I do want to say this before we go, y'all. Look into this is serious now. Look into what Gina was talking about. There's maybe money allocated for you out there. Maybe something that can help you. I'm going to tell you when we hang up, CC, you know we're going to look into it, ain't we? Because after being awarded this money, after Nikki told us about this money, we thought we couldn't get it and we got it. And it helped get us back on the right path. And then I got to stop taking all my money out. Now I've gotten back. We got ourselves level again. Because my wife's happy. She got a new truck, a new Honda truck. You know what I mean? We couldn't get no Honda truck at first, but the way we was just shoveling money out. You know what I mean? Going back to work and everything like that. These programs are allocated to help you, to get us back out of this red, out of the red. So use some of these things. I hope this podcast helps somebody because it helped me. Closing thoughts for me, I'll go first. Closing thoughts, y'all, please grieve properly. Please, if you have to talk to somebody, talk. You know what I mean? Gina says you can throw up graffiti in the air. You can clean it up with a shark bite vacuum cleaner. But somewhere along the line next year, you'll still find a piece of graffiti somewhere. It's called grief. It's called grief. Go off if you need to talk to somebody, talk to somebody. If you need to cry, you need to cry. But whatever you need to do, please try to grieve properly so that when you're up in the age and stuff like that, you don't have a hard heart. CC, closing thoughts.
My closing thoughts are to just be vigilant about keeping an eye on some of this legislation that's going on, people. I know that, we don't like to be too political, and some of us are not interested in politics at all, but we have been shown through these various incidents and these various acts of brutality against our people that we really need to pay attention. We really need to make sure that our voices are heard because our children are dying in the streets for no reason at all. And Congress and legislators, they think that we don't pay attention, so we simply just do not care. So we have to get more involved with some of these organizations, such as Doc with his Men Against Murder. You know, we have to be ever vigilant about making sure that we let the world know that our children matter to us.
Yeah. Gina, closing thoughts.
I'm just going to use one of Doc's lines. Man doesn't choose who God's going to use. I'm gonna end it right there.
One more time.
Man doesn't choose who God is going to use.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
I never thought the ex-West Baltimore dope fiend, jailbird, drug dealing, drug addict thug would be the person that's over here trying to make sure to get knowledge out to my community and to my people. I never thought I would be where I am and who I am. I always knew I had it inside of me, but it wasn't important. It wasn't important. God just shook my little dusty ass and he came before you and see who you are now. Thank you very much. Hands up to a good show. Let's get up out of here. Let's get up out of here. Thank you, everybody. You know what I mean? To everybody out there in podcast land, thank you. We'll be in here tomorrow at 11 o'clock chiming in. 20% off all products and stuff like that. The 20% will be refunded to the seller by me. Gina's Paparazzi has told us something else. If you don't know, listen to little things like that. Small things. She is a franchise person. Franchise don't allow her to decide the price of her jewelry. It's already on there. It has to be $5. It's $5. So we give it 20% off. I'm gonna give you 20% off out of me. She's gonna charge you the same thing, and I'm gonna reimburse that from y'all. And that's what CC does. All right, y'all. Don't forget, my great cousin, Big Cuz, always says the only thing that we need is God's grace and mercy. We can go from there. This is a small thing to do to get up to date and try to learn something together. Each one teach one. Y'all know how I leave out here. I always leave out the same way I leave out happy, because I always do this before I go. You know what I do? Mama! Mama! May the work I've done speak for me. May the life I've lived speak for me. When I'm resting in my grave, oh Lord, may they all say, may the service we give on this podcast speak for me. Hands up, hands up. We out of here, y'all. All right, y'all. Kenny Davis, take us home, my main man. Now go out there, y'all, and have a great day on purpose. Everybody, see you tomorrow. As always, to God be the glory. I'm out.